Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky is launching a new campaign aimed at improving the health of Kentuckians.
Yeah, it is called Raise Your Guard Kentucky. WKYT's Mariah Conjito has the details.
Monday's press conference with the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky focused on what people can do to reduce the prevalence of chronic conditions like diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. They say they saw a spike in these ever since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
While Kentuckians have long struggled with chronic diseases, we don't have to accept this as the status quo.
President and CEO of Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky, Ben Chandler, says the way we do this is by adopting healthy habits.
What really takes care of what ails us is how we live day to day.
Medical professionals like Dr. Lee Dossett with Baptist Health says simple things like eating better, getting more sleep, and moving our bodies more can help us fight off the next virus or chronic disease.
You don't have to be perfect on all of these, but you have to, if you can improve each thing by a little bit, it's really going to pay off as you get older.
Chandler says one of the goals of the Raise Your Guard Kentucky campaign is to bring awareness to a reality some Kentuckians may not even know about.
We lead the entire nation in cancer. We have one of the highest diabetes rates. Our rates for obesity are high. We're one of the top states for cardiovascular disease.
Dr. Dossett says patients with chronic illnesses are the driving force behind the majority of their hospitalizations and ER volume. This was especially true, he says, during the pandemic.
I'm not talking about people in their 70s and 80s and 90s. These are, 40, 50, 60-year-olds. So it's the younger population for sure.
Raise Your Guard Kentucky is geared toward all ages and includes videos featuring people from across the state. Dr. Lucretia Dye is one of them. She's found yoga as a way to focus on herself both physically and mentally.
For us to deal with the physical wellness, we need to absolutely deal with our mental wellness. And part of the mental wellness and the mental health for all of us is being able to say we need connection and we need people.
Dye says finding community groups to get involved in is another great way to improve your overall well-being. Mariah Conjito, WKYT.
Well, the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky encourages everyone to check out the videos associated with their campaign and share them on social media. You can find them on their website. We have a link to that in this story for you on WKYT.com.